I was excited for weeks. Then an hour before you canceled. Goodbye plans. This is a sucky happily ever after. Now I don't know what to do with myself, so I write a song. Thing is, I didn't blow it, but karma has a way of coming around. See, I waited and waited to see it flop in my face. Patience and patiently waiting to see your face. Now I'm scathing and seething. Help me control my anger. Help me take it out on something safe. I'm so disappointed. All right. Welcome back to another podcast with Levi Cancion. So back in the day, I worked at Chick-fil-A. And as such, there was a lot of other people that worked at Chick-fil-A too. I ended up writing a song about this girl, which is the one that you hear playing at the beginning. So you can tell that it really ends poorly. So why don't I just tell you guys how it went down? There was a certain girl named Sasha. Yes, Sasha worked at Chick-fil-A with me. She was blonde, and she was sort of short. We ended up working in the same station together sometimes, cashier. And when you're on the register, you're able to talk to the person next to you in between the customers, because you're basically just standing there waiting for customers to come. Maybe you're refilling some drink machines, cleaning down the counters, refilling sauce, something like that. And so while this is happening, I'm engaging with this girl named Sasha, and we get onto good footing together. We are vibing together. She was always hard to read though, as far as her feelings for me. I knew she was flirting with me, but I didn't know if it was flirting because I'm bored and you're next to me, or flirting because I'm actually interested in you. And so I had to make that determination. So one day, outside of work hours, I went into the Chick-fil-A drive-thru after knowing that she was on the headset, so she would be taking my order. I don't remember how I had made that happen. I think I talked to someone that was on the clock that day, and they're like, okay, yes, Sasha's working, she's going to be on headset, so you can come into the drive-thru. And there was a dance coming up for her school. I was homeschooled at the time, so I was going to ask her to her own school's dance. And I didn't really have a plan. All I had planned to do was drive through the Chick-fil-A drive-thru and order a lemonade and then ask her at the window or ask her on the headset while she's taking my orders. She also wants to go to the dance. It wasn't really a well thought out plan because it was going to catch her off guard and she was working and I don't know. I could have done something better. But the point is, this went down. I drove into the Chick-fil-A drive-thru. She takes my order. And when I ask her to go to the dance over the intercom, right? She says, what? She's confused. She didn't hear me, right? So I repeated it. And then I can hear the coworkers laughing in the background because they know what's going on. And I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, well, whatever. So I just drove to the window and she's in the background kind of hiding from me. Maybe I blew my shot in that one. Maybe I should have asked her in a more private setting so I didn't feel pressure to. She probably thought it was a joke. That's probably what happened. And that's why she didn't say yes. She didn't say no. It was just she didn't respond. So I drove to the window, got my lemonade and drove off. And that was the end of that romantic situationship that happened. We'd work around each other, but it was still not awkward, but we knew that she wasn't into me because the secret was out. She didn't say she wanted to go out with me on this date for the dance. And the point was, it wasn't the same. I knew she wasn't into me, so we didn't have that flirtatious relationship anymore. Now, this next part that I'm going to share is a little bit wild on my own part because Sasha had a sister, a little younger sister, that started working at Chick-fil-A around the same time that we ended up having our flirtatiously falling out situationship end. And I'm going to be straight up honest, I thought her younger sister was cuter than her. But when she started working, I wasn't going to be oh, well, I'm just going to go pursue your sister right after we ended. It was okay, well, I'm going to be friends with your sister because you're not talking to me as much anymore and see what happens. This new girl was named Gretchen. And she knew that I'd asked her sister out and got rejected. She thought it was funny to talk to me because she knew that I was into her sister, so she never thought that there was anything there. But we got close because as much as I vibed with this older sister, Sasha, I vibed with this younger sister, Gretchen, even more. Something about the way that she just laughed it got me going. I don't know what it was about this girl. She was a very cute girl. You'll see some people that they're attractive, but this girl was cute. Even to this day, man, I would go back to her. Anyways, I couldn't pursue her because it was off limits. You can't go from one sister to the next, right? Or could I? So, I got her Snapchat. We were friends on Snapchat, no problem. No harm, no foul. I kept asking her to hang out. Do you want to go get some food? Yada, yada, yada. And she's like, yeah, I want some McDonald's. We finally had this confirmed time after work that she was done, where I was off, and I was going to come pick her up, and we were going to go get McDonald's together. The day came, and I'm like waiting for her to message me that she got done with work so I can come pick her up and we can go get some McDonald's. Disclaimer, I don't like McDonald's. I was only doing it for her. Undisclaimer. Back to the story. So she never did. I was waiting like an hour, didn't even like message me. I even went to her house. I was about to walk to the front door and knock, but I saw the car and I did not want to go to the door, meet the family, and also be like, hey, so we still gonna hang out when she's not responding to my texts. So I was just like, well, sat there for like 5 minutes thinking about what to do, and I drove away. And the next time I saw her at work, she was acting like nothing happened, but to me it was a big deal because she flaked on me. And her reason was just she didn't want to. And that was when I knew she wasn't into me either. Or she was into me, but she couldn't pursue it because she knew it would be breaking the rules for going after a man that your sister was initially talking to. She was being a good sister. I know she was into me. But the point is, the song I made was about her. Came out like a couple weeks after this situation happened. I even told my manager it was about her, and then he told her it was about her. And then she was like so weirded out by that she ended up quitting. Not only her, but her sister quit as well. She had 2 older sisters that occasionally worked there in like the summertime when they came back from college, and they quit. The whole entire family quit this job because I made it awkward for the youngest one to be there working with me because she knew that I wrote a song about her, and I was disappointed that this date didn't happen. It was so much pettiness over something small, but like I did write a song about it. I understand. She could have just let me down easy, but why did she have to lead me on, right? That's how I felt. I was led on. So the lesson I learned, don't go for siblings. And the funny thing is, I never learned this lesson correctly because fast forward a couple years later in a different situation, I still go for a sibling and then the other one.
Actually, in the future, I go for 2 sets of identical twins, which was even worse. But that's a story for another day, so stay tuned.
We'll talk about that when the time comes. Make sure that before you pursue someone, if you're going to pursue one sibling, you better scratch off the other one, because if things end with one, you're not supposed to go to the other. Choose before you commit to making flirtatious moves on one. So, a little funny story, little like, how could I do that, right? You know, but in the moment you're working with someone, you can't help but get close to them. You can't help yourself if you catch feelings, you know? Even if they are the sibling of someone that rejected you. Like, what does that matter? But it does. It does if you don't want to have further drama. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just saying be aware that there might be some severe consequences, like the whole entire family quitting the job you're at because you made a song for one of the youngest sister after going for the older sister because she rejected you, and then you were also more vibing with the younger sister, but you know it until the older sister was out of the way. You know, it was just a crazy situation. So that's my story. Love you guys. A little short today, but you know, just that one. Sometimes it'd be like that. Sometimes we pop in just for a moment. Sometimes we pop in for 20 minutes. Like, that's just how it's going to be. I don't think we've ever made a podcast for 20 minutes. I hope not. That's way too long.
I was hoping to get this podcast out by Valentine's Day. Life happens and traveling happens, so check through all of these old podcasts if you did not have a Valentine this year and see what you can do differently for next year, because you guys got this. And if you're following along, there is no way you're going to be single next year. All right, y'all. We'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for sticking with me. Have a great one. Ciao.
Disappointed. I'm so disappointed. So disappointed. All my emotions summed up in one word. I'm so disappointed. This is just my type of control. I'm so disappointed.